Nearly 500 years after her execution, some believe the ghost of one of England's most powerful women still haunts the prison where she spent her final days.
Welcome to the Unexplained and Paranormal Report, where we investigate mysterious events, hauntings, strange encounters, and everything unexplained.
That woman was Anne Boleyn, the second wife of King Henry VIII and the first of his wives to be executed. One of the most chilling encounters with Anne's ghost came centuries later in 1864, when a sentry guarding the Tower of London noticed the figure of a woman approaching through the darkness. As a mysterious woman moved closer, the sentry ordered her to stop, but she continued toward him. With nowhere else to go, he raised his bayonet and charged at the figure, only to pass straight through her. The guard collapsed and later faced a court-martial for sleeping on duty. But his story was quickly believed when two other witnesses claimed they had seen the figure also. But Anne Boleyn's story inside the tower began very differently. Just 3 years before she returned here as a prisoner, Anne had arrived in triumph, staying inside the tower while preparing for her coronation as Queen of England. It was the height of her rise to power. Henry VIII had broken with Rome after his first marriage failed to produce the male heir he desperately wanted, and now Anne stood beside him as queen. But the celebration wouldn't last. Anne gave Henry a daughter, the future Queen Elizabeth I, but no surviving son. As their marriage deteriorated, Henry's attention turned toward another woman at court, Jane Seymour. Then Anne's downfall came incredibly fast. She was arrested on May 2, 1536, accused of adultery, incest, and plotting the king's death before being taken back to the Tower. Only this time there would be no coronation waiting for her. In a cruel twist, Anne was imprisoned in the same royal apartments where she had prepared to become the queen just 3 years earlier. The woman who had entered these walls near the height of her power was now waiting to learn if she would ever leave them alive. And she wouldn't. Anne was convicted and sentenced to death, but even the way Henry chose to execute his former queen was unusual. Instead of the traditional axe, an expert swordsman was brought from France to carry out the sentence. On the morning of May 19, 1536, Anne walked from her quarters toward the scaffold on Tower Green. With a single stroke of the swordsman's blade, the former Queen of England was beheaded. Her remains were buried inside the chapel of St. Peter ad Vincula, within the tower itself. But Anne's story inside these walls didn't end with her execution. For centuries, stories of her ghost have spread throughout the tower. Her spirit has been seen wandering the grounds, while one account describes a silent procession led by Anne moving from Tower Green toward the chapel where her remains were buried. Other encounters are far more disturbing. A headless Anne has been seen wandering the tower, her appearance forever reflecting the brutal way her life ended. And in perhaps the most chilling accounts of all, Anne walks the grounds carrying her own severed head. The queen who once came to the tower preparing for her coronation returned only 3 years later to face her execution. And nearly 500 years after Anne Boleyn walked these grounds for the final time, some believe her sentence inside the Tower of London still isn't over. Do you believe Anne Boleyn is still haunting the Tower of London? Or has nearly 500 years of legend kept her ghost alive? Let me know what you think in the comments.